from that lobby? Who we got?
I'm not really sure what the entries are like.
Only one missing, you can see, is Highlander, as always.
No, Highlander's not in.
Hey?
Highlander's not. Oh, he's not in the lobby, sorry.
Yeah, he's not in the lobby.
Yeah.
As always, and this is what Banjo wants to have as a main series driver, even if he can't commit to second division. Jump's going to join us in a minute. Just going to get his dinner.
We are live, my friend.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you guys are watching this coverage of the TrackStars Formula 2 series. We are live for round 8 for the Belgian Grand Prix, the most spectacular event in the drivers' calendar here at TrackStars. The most exciting track for all drivers, whether it's Gran Turismo or Assetto Corsa Competizione, any racing game. Everyone knows Spa. Even every race fan knows Spa. Even the non-race fans know everything about Spa Francorchamps. So it's a beautiful track located in Savalot in Belgium, up in the Northern Hills, which is a layout of exactly 7.004 kilometers. This circuit. So these drivers have got 8 minutes to get that lap right, because it's going to feel like an eternity, with a rough estimate lap time heading at around about a 1:56, 1:57 on this track. But joining me in the commentary box is the one and only disappointed Ryan Palmer. How you going tonight, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Beautiful Sunday night here in lockdown in Sydney, but be good to go racing. As we just kick this one off, we can see a bunch of drivers just exit the pit lane, but hopefully it'll be a good Grand Prix around the beautiful Circuit of Spa Francorchamps. I don't even know how to spell it, because I'm Australian and I can't get that twang in my voice, but hopefully we can be in for some good racing tonight.
I think you got close enough there, so that's good enough. That'll be good enough for the audience. I don't think there's many French audience members that we have here, so it's all good. So what we have is a unique qualifying set where we've got at least 5 drivers come through the Formula 2 pre-qualifying, which was led by SRT Mazda for the Shadon Racing team, followed by Sir Slayer in the It's Racing Esports camp, or actually running under the ISAR camp in the formulas, so only the It's Racing Esports in the TS2. Then we have Sirik also joining us tonight in the second split, in the main split of the F2, right there in the 98 there, so a nice little purple livery. I believe the next one was Bjorn Borg's Undies as well. He's leading the train. And the last one is, I think it was, no, Magical Wax came through the last, won the last round at the Suzuka Grand Prix circuit, so he got an automatic entry. So we've got 14, so maybe someone must have jumped out by accident. I wonder if that might be the case.
Nah, we never got Highlander in, so currently we're sitting at 14. So Highlander is currently a little bit of a no-show, so hopefully he turns up either before the race starts or before qualifying finishes, because if he doesn't, that'll be a unfortunate DNS for Highlander there.
Exactly right. Last time out, the winner of this event was the winner of the Formula 2 was going to be Matt here in the 89 entry, but unfortunately a 5-second penalty that cost him a big chance of taking victory, which was led by this man, 5% for the Revo Satellite Racing team. So it was a great duel between good mates in 5% and Mid-Matt. Mid-Matt crossed the line in first, but post-race it was led and victory was won by 5%, with right behind him is Silo96, who disconnected from the Suzuka Circuit Grand Prix, so he'll be looking up to make some points because he's lost some valuable points after that disconnect right back at Suzuka in the last fortnight.
Yeah, exactly, and that was obviously a bit of a hard hit for him there to not get any points, but obviously Gran Turismo connection issues strike again, but onwards and upwards of qualifying. We've got Mid-Matt out in front, and obviously they do have, is it a 6-minute qualifying session or is it 8 minutes?
It was 8 minutes, but like I said, the lap is a very long lap, so these guys will probably only have about 3. If you're lucky, you might be able to get 4 laps in if you don't make a pit stop. So it's all up to the drivers, and whether they use the full advantage of their overtake juice within that first lap, then chuck it back in the pit lane and then go again, or whether they just go into Otherwise they'll just go into that 3 straight laps of qualifying. As we see Mid-Matt coming up towards the bus stop for in the last couple of corners here. This section of the track has been resurfaced many times, but this layout of the bus stop has been here since 2007 onwards. And Mid-Matt crosses the line onto the pitch straight. He sets himself a 1:55.4 there, so that's a great benchmark there. Duran 50 not far behind with the 1:56, with Bjorn Borg's Undies right behind in 3rd place with Magical Wax, and then Vickers, and then everybody else is crossing the line. I'm still losing pace. I can't even keep up. My voice is about to crack.
No, it's all good. We'll catch them all once they'll cross the line, because there is a lot going on, and drivers moving backwards and forwards. But yeah, so far on pole position we do have Mid-Matt with a 1:55.441. Not too far behind him is Dram 50, and he'll definitely be one to watch out for. And down here in 5th place we've got Broccolilli. Broccolilli is making his main game debut tonight, is he not? I believe so.
Exactly, he's going to be making his main debut series in the formulas. We'll have to wait and confirm with the EBM management if he's going to be full-time, so this might be the last time we might see Broccolilli in Formula 2. So what a way to go out if he can get himself a podium position. We know that he's a fast driver in the Formula 2s, absolutely. So he's definitely one to keep an eye on for this race, as we see Cylon actually move up into 4th place there. So this is going to help Cylon for his championship, where he's actually 30 points ahead of RSR Robo Sport. After that big hit that he had at Suzuka Circuit, he needs to get those positions over Robo Sport, which he's now currently in 14th place.
Yeah, it's a bit weird seeing Robbo down there, but he did put in a 1:56.6, but I'm not too sure if that's stuck because he might have got a penalty or something. But another surprising one down here is good old Viperzed. So he did pit after the first lap, so this one will be definitely one to watch out for, but it looks like he's not using his overtake, so it looks like he might have a 1-lap dash. So fingers crossed for him that he can put in a quick lap, otherwise he's got 12 other cars to get through.
Well, he likes using I usually use the same tactic that he does. I don't really use my overtake at the beginning of my first lap. I always save it for the second lap. So I always make sure that first lap is a good banker lap, and then the second lap I can just go all out with the overtake button. So Viperzed's coming up towards the back end, which is Belgian. So he's coming up towards this end, exiting Stavelot, and turn 16 is coming through turn 17 and 18. As we see improvements come up the field, SDRT Mazda has moved up, has promoted himself up into 3rd place there. So Slayer up into 4th place as well. Broccoli doesn't improve there, but let's keep an eye on Viper Set as he's coming out, as he's coming down towards the end of the bus stop here, turns 19 and turn 20. So is he going to be able to get himself onto the front row? Can Viper Set get himself side by side with Matt? He doesn't. He's only 10th place, but like I said, he didn't use his overtake, so he's going to use it this time round.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, as we see him just jump on the overtake there, so he is on the racing softs there. Yeah, I'm surprised he's not on the super softs for a quali lap, but hopefully he can put in a quick lap. So you can see him on the overtake here, so we'll just watch him until he comes through the first split to see what time he might put in.
Coming along the Hemel Straight, this long stretch at the top of the hill as he's coming, then he comes down towards turn 7-8, which is Lake Hume. So he's just got himself, he's only gone for a personal best on his lap here, so he's got a lot to make up here on Malindi and Rivage coming downhill off the Spa Francorchamps. So we'll keep an eye on his time, but let's look up back towards mid-Matt. I want to see if he can improve his lap because he's coming through towards the back end, which is coming towards the bus stop here. So is he? I wonder if he's on an improvement lap. This might be his last lap. He might be able to squeeze in just one more, but I don't know if his tyres are going to hold up through, so he might be the only driver that might be able to get one more lap in. He doesn't improve, so he's only got about this lap to go, as Duran 50 doesn't also improve as well. He's made a bit of a mistake there. As we see SDRT Mazda, can he improve his lap? He doesn't, so he's qualifying's done. What about Sir Slayer? He looks like he might overtake Mazda. He improves, but he doesn't get Mazda. He's only just behind, as we see Brock and Lily. Actually Brock and Lily's on his out lap, so that's not going to count for him. Bjorn Borgs has pitted. Cyric, as the privateer, is up into 6th place, so that's a great showing for Cyric. They're just over the line, overtook Bjorn Borgs. Robbo Sport is actually up in 8th place there, so that's a great qualifying for Robbo. But we need to keep an eye on Viper Z and even a guy like Xylon 96, because Xylon 96, Viper.
Oh, there he is!
Oh. He goes pole position. Great catch there, DJ. That was excellent. 5% on pole position on his last lap. Wow, take a bow, 5%. What an amazing lap. As we see Xylon move up, inherits 8th place there. So that's a great little lap there from Xylon. Just 2 places ahead of Robbo Sport. But wow, that lap from 5%, that was incredible.
Yeah, as you see
Robbo coming across the line, he doesn't improve, but that lap from Viper said that was literally a pressure lap there, but he held the pressure off mid-Matt there and used the best of his overtake that he could to snatch pole position. So here's last fortnight's winner in split 2, Magical Wax. He's way off the pace, so he's just not going to improve his time there. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We have our grid sorted. We have 5% on pole position. So for the Revo team, Revo Satellite Racing, congratulations to 5% and the number 56 with his best mate in mid-Matt in 2nd place, Duran 50. Actually, we'll see mid-Matt because he did come across the line on that last lap, but he's way down the order, so that'll be it. 5%, congratulations, you've got pole position in the TrackStars Formula 2 round 8 here for the Belgian Grand Prix.
Yeah, that was a top lap there. He did get mid-Matt by 0.026, so that's not even a blink of an eye there. That's incredible. No. So we'll see really how the race start goes. As we know, these things are a little bit hard to get off the line, so we do use traction control just to get them off the line. But can't wait for this long Belgian GP around the beautiful track of Circuit des Spa Francorchamps. And for the race start, I shall hand that over to you. So here we go.
So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, TrackStars Formula 2, round 8 for the Belgian Grand Prix. It is 5% for the Revo Satellite Racing Team in 1st place, Matt for the BCG Racing in 2nd with Duran 50 CP, SDRT Mazda in 4th, Sir Slayer in 5th. So 5 teams within the top 5. As we get green light racing, it is going to be 5% leading the way with a perfect launch there, and Duran 50's got that inside line over mid-Matt, so that's going to help him out massively. How's this first corner going through? It looks quite clean, a little bit pushy there between the Robo Sport cars. But we see Cylon actually move up a place in the seventh place there. So he knows he's got pace in the formulas just like his TS2. So hopefully he can make his way through the field, but still leading the way as we come towards the Camel Straight. Viper Z versus Mid-Mat. So Viper Z is actually pulling away from Mid-Mat, but it looks like Mid-Mat's got the charge here. And he's going to make an inside move on Viper Z, and he has done. He's done an excellent move there on the end of the Camel Straight, coming up to Lakeum. It's an awesome overtake by Mid-Mat with Duran 50, and so Slayer right behind. We see SDRT Master on the defensive there. Behind him is Broccolilli with Xylon 96 in 7th place. Rugworth has promoted himself up into 8th place. So great start by all drivers. A few casualties there in the Robo Sport camp, but so far it's all Mid-Mat after that slow start.
Yeah, exactly. And Sirix dropped down to 11th here, so by the looks of it, he didn't get exactly one of the greatest starts. Robo Sport as well, all the way down in 14th. So that's good there for Xylon, but we should keep an eye on Robo come towards the end of the race, because as you said earlier, Xylon 96, who's up here in 7th place, is leading the championship at the moment over Robo. So we'll wait and see, but until then, we'll just go up the front and get this action here. As you see, Duran 50 and Sir Slayer going at it.
So two heated rivals, and so Slayer and Duran 50, these two know each other pretty well. They're both close to each other. Duran's going for the defensive there. Same with Mid-Mat on Viper Z. Can Viper Z go around the outside? I don't think it's wise on the first lap. Maybe on the 16th lap you might go for an outside move, but the first lap I wouldn't really advise. As you see, so Slayer actually he stays down. There. Apologies there. So as we look back at the replay, we see Sir Slayer and Duran 50 and Mid-Mat Viper Z both going side by side, coming into the bus stop sections, turn 19 and 20, but nothing to help them overtake their main competitors. As maybe Sir Slayer got a little bit too much on the throttle. He did. So it's a little bit unlucky there for Sir Slayer, but let's wait and see. He actually is still in 4th place there with SDRT Massa on the charge, so he's going to use his overtake as much as he can. But I see back there as well, I see Cylon 96 think that making the move on Broccolilli. As he actually goes for an outside move on Broccolilli, does he make that stick? He doesn't, so he's just got onto the bit of that AstroTurf there, as we see the two teammates in Cylon and Rugworth going side by side there. So the Rugworth for the VL MSR Racing versus the Toll MSR in Cylon 96. As we catch a quick replay, looks like Cylon just went a bit too deep there,
Yeah, exactly, and obviously once you go a little bit too deep there, you do go on the outside there, and Rugworth has taken the joys of that, and he's actually overtaken him. So unfortunate there for Xylon 96, but we'll see if he can get his composure back and try and take down the charge to get up the front. As we get back to the front, it looks like Viper Z has overtaken Mid-Mat here.
Viper Z has been making a late charge in the Formula 2 Championship. He's now actually up into 5th place in the Championship, 594, only a few points behind Mikes and Broccolilli. As we know, as maybe we know, Broccolilli's making that move to the main series. He'll probably inherit himself up into 4th place. So Viper Z on the late charge for maybe possibly challenging Cylon for the championship. Who knows? But if Cylon knows that Viper Z is going to be here for the long term and Cylon is leading the championship, I think you would have to think Cylon might need to make a bit of a move, get a bit of a move on if he wants to secure that championship in Formula 2.
Yeah, exactly. And granted, that Viper did join late, so it looks like he's performed well, got some valuable points there. But there aren't obviously many rounds remaining. I'll have a look here. I wasn't supposed to do that. There we go. As we see Mid-Mat looking to use his overtake the same again. So this is a really OP section of the track, if you like to call it. We see Mid-Mat retake the lead there. So the Camel Straight is really OP when it comes to slipstream, because you can really take advantage of that slipstream and even with the overtake. But it looks like Mid-Mat hasn't used much to overtake, so it must have been just pure straight line speed there. So these cars don't have any tunes on it, so
is probably the spec of the Formula 2, the 600 horsepowers they have under the engine covers that's helping him propel himself up into first place. But these guys, they're doing one thing, they're actually pulling away from Duran 50, so they're working together to pull away from Duran 50, the CP Motorsport entry.
Yeah, exactly, and obviously we know that Viper Z and Midmat do know how each other drive, so they're probably just chilling there, seeing that gap expand and not fighting for position. So once one lets one go, just then let the other person go and just keep doing vice versa and not fight for position, because as soon as you start to fight for position, you'll have this man here in the number 50, Duran 50, charge up, and even better yet, you might even have SDRT Madster. So until then, or just as I say that, commentators curse, they look like they are charging for position here. So by the looks of it, it looks like these guys may be battling for the whole race. So
it's always a nice battle to see with the two top professional drivers in Viper Z and Mid-Mat. So Viper Z, an actual real life supercars marshals, and Mid-Mat, a 2015 GT Academy winner. So these two definitely know each other in all racing series that they compete in. So they know their racecraft, they know how they race, and it's just always a pleasure to have these guys in our Formula 2 event.
Yeah, exactly, and obviously I do work alongside Viper Z in pit lane at the supercars event. So no, he's a good man, he's a good bloke. So he's nice to see him jumping in the cars here, giving a challenge to Matt. But the gap's expanded out a little bit here to 2 seconds. So Duran 50 might also want to get a bit of a move on here. So it looks like their tyre wear is all about the same, and Viper's actually used a little bit less tyre wear. So
that's pretty good then, because I guess the top three are running on the racing soft tyres, but we see SDRT Master on the super soft. So it's a very interesting strategy that I see with the formulas, that the front guys always like to go with the hardest compound, which is the racing soft tyres, and then they always go for the super soft at the end. And it's probably, maybe they just think because they just know they're that little bit faster than the regular Formula 2 guys, that they can compromise with those strategies. But we look at with Silent 96, he's actually also on the racing soft tyres as well. So maybe something interesting for Silent. Maybe if we look up to Rugworth, see what he's got on his car as well. He might be Brock Lilly, looks like he's on the racing softs as well. So
yeah, Rugworth's on the super softs, and Zylan's also on the super softs as well. But Brocco,
Zylan is on the super softs.
Yeah, Zylan's on the supers, and Brocco's on the softs. And by the looks of it, everyone below him. Oh, we've got Sirik here on the supers. So Sirik is trying to charge up in through the field. So as he said, it is a 16-lap race, and they do have a minimum of 5 laps per compound. Oh, as we see, what is going on here?
Magical Wax goes for a dive bomb move there, as we take a quick replay of that. What happened with Magical Wax there? He just missed his braking zone. He might be able to get an onboard if you can, DJ, because that was unbelievable. That's all right, but that was unbelievable. He just didn't pull up. He brakes, and then bang, right into Brock Lilly there. And Brock Lilly had nowhere to go there, unfortunately for Brock Lilly. But Magical Wax, unfortunately, goes from bad to worse for him, and he just makes that huge mistake taking out Brock Lilly. That's one definitely for the stewards, but I guess the full blame can be taken towards Magical Wax as we see Bjorn Borg. Contact between Brock and Lilly and Bjorn Borg's undies, as we see that replay there. So this is a very horrible moment that we've seen in real life, ladies and gentlemen, where in 2019, unfortunately, we saw the passing of Antoine Hubert in the 2019 Formula 2 category, and Brock and Lilly all of a sudden just got, his luck just goes from bad to worse, and he is not happy. He is definitely not a happy driver in the number 13, the 13th place.
Yeah, that was one. That was a move that wasn't on there. Like you're going up onto the Camel Straight there. You guys can go side by side like that. You have no need to take that line there. So unfortunate there for Bjorn's Borgs. That just wasn't a move that was on. So unfortunate there for Broccolilli, but it looks like Bjorn's Borgs might be copying a pretty harsh penalty there from the steward.
Yeah, so I would say he'd be copying a really harsh penalty at Bjorn Borg. So that's unfortunately that's definitely not on for Bjorn Borgs and Brock Lilly there. I mean, even for Magical Wax as well. So the Magical Wax incident and Bjorn Borgs, they'll be having a bit of a word with stewards, as we see SDRT Mazda for a bit of a spin there. Is he intending to go to the pit lane? No, he's not. So he just had a bit of a an off spin there, just couldn't get the power down, and the wheel spin almost into the pit lane there, DJ.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll reset this spectator mode so we can go back in. Yeah, so it's a bit, I guess it is what it is kind of thing, but that's what the stewards are there for. So we don't condone dirty racing at all. So I personally wouldn't like to be in Broccoli's shoes there, but I guess that's racing, that's what comes with racing. So Brocco's just got to reset, recompose, and just try and charge back to the field here. Is he's starting to make a little bit more time back on Magical Wax, and as we do see, he's on a racing soft tyre. So when all the pit stops come through, there is 4 or 5 drivers in front of him that will have to go onto the softs while he goes onto the super. So he may charge back down through the field because he isn't too far back behind the field. He's only 26 seconds behind the leaders, but as we know in one of the latest updates, the pit time is a lot longer than what it used to be. It used to be like 4 seconds or so, but now it's about 20 to 30 seconds. So I'll be keeping an eye back on Broccoli towards the end of this race, but unfortunately there for Bjorn's Bulls Undies, mate, that move was just not on.
Exactly right, so well said, DJ. Unfortunately, and even I just saw in the text chat there that Bjorn, Broccoli was calling a black flag for Bjorn Borg, so unfortunately, yep, that's definitely one for the stewards. I don't think anyone needs to put an incident report there. That one will be taken straight towards the stewards there, so very not what we want to see, but anyway, we move on to lap 6. It is still Viper Zedka leading the way ahead of Mint-Man in second place. Duran 50, who was looking to be a lot closer to Mint-Man and Viper Zed before SDRT Mazda tried to make a move on him, but unfortunately didn't make that work. With Mazda still in 4th place, with Sir Slayer 1991 in 5th. Rugworth doing an excellent job in 6th place there, fending off from his, you can say his teammate in Xylon 96 there. So as we know, Xylon 96 is the only Toll MSR representative, unlucky, which is with his main teammate in JMX is actually signed for the main series in the Pit Lane Esports for your team, DJ.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, I had a bit of a team reshuffle there with. As per the last round, and I did have a couple of talks with JMX, kind of thought of it myself on which driver I can sign, so I decided to go with JMX there because he does put in some solid performances. He has just been unlucky in the last couple of rounds, so
yeah, he knows his way around a Formula car, that's for sure, and he was in the main series for the first 2 rounds representing It's Racing Esports, and even in the second race for you guys, I think it was you that you were away, so he did you some good favours there. So it was nice to see JMX back in the main series. He was actually up there in the top 6 at the end of the second round there, so unfortunate for him to not keep that momentum going, but it'll be great to have him back even as a team boss, to see my guys in JMX and coming for you, the Shade On Racing team, all the 4 MSR boys back in the main series. So that's something for me to be happy about, but I wish JMX all the best for the Pit Lane boys.
Yeah, exactly, and in practice he was very, very close to my time, so that's good to see for me, and he's practicing, and if he's not sure about anything, he does ask me, but which is good to see. So hopefully he can put in a solid performance tonight. As we see Matt here shoot off into the pit, so he's gone 7 laps on the soft, so he's going to be a 9 lap stint on the supers. So can he get the undercut here on Viper? So Viper hasn't used any of his overtakes, so if I was Viper, I'd get on that overtake and try and stretch out that gap as much as I could.
Exactly, and we see the tyre wear being quite a bit aggressive here with the ×3 tyre wear, so you can definitely see the tyres really being used by all drivers, and because these guys don't have any tunes in their Formula cars, the tyre wear is set to default with the car fixed with a fixed car, so everyone's getting equal tyre wear. It just depends on how you drive the car as well. So as we look down, we see Mazda having a bit of the worst tyre wear out of the top 5 there, so Rugworth still holding himself in great position in 4th place here. So maybe I wonder if the super soft runners in the likes of Mazda, Rugworth and Solent, maybe they might be able to stretch their tyre stint out to maybe about, at least you'd say, lap 10 before they have to come in for the soft tyres, because we saw on the soft tyres, the speed is there, it's just where you are track position wise.
Yeah, exactly, and obviously we do see a 56.3 set there by Vipers on the racing soft tyres, but I haven't really driven one of these cars without a tune, but I do know in practice that the tyre wear it's not too bad, but it is a harsh circuit, so we'll wait to see what happens here, but I'll definitely keep my eye on Matt here with the fresh set of super softs. So we'll wait and see what the front of the field does with their pit stops and where Matt comes out of. But Viper here looks like he may be pitting this lap.
We'll have to wait and see if he pits at the end of this lap. But if he pits at the end of this lap, yeah, he does. So he's coming into the pit lane, no chances. He's not going to take any risk. He's just going to come put on the super soft tyres. We'll see Duran 50 go for another lap, and same with SDRT, Mazda, Ruckworth, and Xylon's coming into the pits as well. There's Xylon in the pits, along with Viper Zed, but we have a guest commentator. Yes, you might know him from the earlier rounds that he was commentating alongside me in the TS2 and the Formula 2. It's a welcome back to the commentary box to Jarvindale at TS Racing. Ah, there he is. Yeah, we're doing great, buddy. Good to have you back in the box. Yeah, I think unfortunately your microphone's still not working. I think that's the reason why you had to give up the commentary. But it's good to have you back, at least.
It's definitely good to be back. I think it's more of an issue with the Streamlabs through the streaming, so...
Ah, okay.
I think it isn't the issue now, is it?
It is a little tiny bit. It sounds like you're underwater, but we can still understand what you're saying. So
yeah,
that's still fine there. So at least it's not cutting in and out like it was the last time. But it's good to have you back in the box. It's been a long time without it. So it's good to have you back, my friend.
Definitely back, and just a bit of an update on Split 2 race. Georgie Buckets is out with 15-second lead, having completed. All drivers have completed their pit stop, so he's leading away from path 360, and then Budsy 76 is in third at the moment. They're just about to start the final lap.
So if Georgie Buckets holds on to the victory, he'll be able to promote himself up into the main Formula 2, ladies and gentlemen. So we always have a nice little courtesy split 2. If you win that event, then you get automatic entry into the second split, into the main split of Formula 2 racing. So it'd be good for Georgie Buckets if he can hold that on. But 15 seconds, like you said, it's a lot, as we see Duram 50, SDRT, Mazda all come into the pit lane for their only stop left. So they'll be swapping tyres, Duram to the super softs and Mazda to the soft tyres. As you see also Ruckworth come in, Nightwalker, he'll probably be coming into the pit lane as well. Yes, he does. So that inherits Mid-Matt, that gives Mid-Matt the race lead. Back again at the end of lap 9 and the commencing of lap 10.
Yeah, exactly, and obviously that undercut's worked there, and he's put in a 3.1 second gap between him and Viper, but Viper is on the less, he's on tyres that are fresher, so it'll be definitely a solid 6 laps here, because Matt's actually used nearly all of his overtake, so by the looks of it, he's used it all on that lap trying to get that time back, so...
Yeah, to get that undercut, to make that undercut work. Exactly right. So as we see coming out of the pits, is Duran 50 still in third place, SDRT Mazda fourth, but Sir Slayer's actually caught him with that undercut there. So it's all about Sir Slayer trying to make a move on Mazda for fourth place, as we see Brock Lilly, who's yet to make a pit stop in sixth place. Ruckworth in seventh, still holding on to a great position. Ruckworth is. There's a nice little recovery for Ruckworth in the VL MSR racing car, and he's keeping ahead of his teammate in Zyla 96. We see Nightwalker in 9th place for the WRT, Cyric in 10th, Mikes 1, 2, 3 and 11th, Bjornborg's Undies in 12th, and Magical Wax in 13th, with Robo Sport having not a great first lap, all the way down to 14th place. I believe there was a bit of contact with his teammate from what I remember. So one to forget for the RSR boys, but it'll be onwards and upwards, but still leading the way. Halfway into lap 10, it is Matt for the BCG Racing ahead of Viper Z in for Revo Satellite Racing and Duram 50 in the CP Motorsport entry.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a nice race going here. So Duram's kind of got a little bit of a gap there to Mazda, but Sir Slayer looks like he may be closing in slightly on Mazda there. So Rocco is yet to pit, so you might want to thinking about pitting at the end of this lap, so he doesn't break the regulations there of the 5-lap minimum tyre. So I shall leave you guys very quickly because I need to go and get my dinner. So I'll be back very shortly.
No worries. So as we see, Mid-Matt still leading the way, ahead of Vipers Z, Duran 50, SDRT, Madstar still behind Sir Slayer, or still ahead of Sir Slayer, I should say. In 5th place, Ruckworth in 6th, Silo 96 in 7th with Nightwalker, rounding up the top 8. And as I believe your split 2 has just finished there, Jarman, so has Georgie Buckets won?
Yes, Georgie definitely held on for that one. Very comfortable margin in the end with Warpath 360 in 2nd and Budsy 76 in 3rd. And then one of the debutants, Rusty Nuts 75, is crossing the line in 4th. Benty Supersoft just behind. And then Devlin Calypso will be the 6th finisher of the race. Unfortunately, Benjo had to pull out, so congratulations to him, but hopefully we can see him next time out.
Exactly right, so congratulations Georgie Buckets, you've definitely earned a ticket to the main Formula 2 race in a fortnight's time. So as we see, coming into Monza I believe in 2 weeks time, so it'll be very interesting with the Slipstream Fest. Maybe, I wonder if the qualifying might be the same as we might see in the Formula 1, Jarman.
Yeah, that definitely be an interesting one. The long straight certainly lead to maybe trying to find a toe during qualifying, get yourself up the order.
Exactly. So it'll be one to see for Georgie Bucks to see how he competes with the F2 boys, but still leading the way. Mid-Matt ahead of Viper Z and Duran 50 in 3rd place there. So it's a bit of a stalemate between the top 3 unless one of them makes mistakes. It looks like that top 3, maybe the top 5 might be able to hold their own position there, as we see Mazda keeping his position ahead of Sir Slayer 1991. As the only battle we've got is Rugworth and Silo 96. So like I said earlier in the broadcast, Jarman, that Viper Z has come up the leaderboard in the championship, but Silent 96 is still inheriting that 1st place, so he needs to get a move on if he doesn't want a guy like Viper Z to overtake him with maybe say 2 rounds to go.
Everyone, probably a few rounds back when Viper Z joined, we probably went, oh, he'll contend for wins, but surely you can't reel in this gap in the championship. But with a couple of drop rounds and some really strong performances, putting a gap between himself and the main contenders in the points, it certainly ordered him up in the top 8, and he could be staring down the contention very soon.
Yeah, exactly right. So it'll be definitely one to keep an eye on, at least when we get to around about that September-October region, to see how Viper Z goes. But with Viper Z in 2nd and Silent 96 in 6th place, so it's a few points there. I think it's a 6-point gap between each point, so about 24 points between Viper Z and Silent 96, so that's 24 over Xylon for Viper Z. So yeah, it's going to be a slow process, but if Xylon can think about staying within that top 5 and Viper Z only getting 1st or 2nd place or even a 3rd place, as you see a mistake there by Silo 96, so that's definitely not going to help him. So Xylon needs to get his head down. He knows he's faster than Rugworth, but Rugworth is pulling off a great fight over his teammate in Silo 96.
Good performances there, and I'm sure Xylon will definitely be capable of digging in and maybe working hard to putting himself up the order as much as possible. I think you've seen that last week with the touring cars, how he put in some great performances to take a couple of podiums up against guys like Matt and Viper Z and John O'Stan, so you can definitely do it on this day.
Exactly, and that TS2 race, which I couldn't help it as a team boss just watching that back over and over. That was an amazing battle that he had with Midman, and Midman gave him full praise of that. So that was an exceptional effort for Silent 96 there. So that's TS2. We're in Formula 2. We're about to start lap 13 on 16, so 4 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. Still leading the way within the top 5. It is Mid-Matt, 5%, Duran 50, SDRT, Master, and Sir Slayer 1991. So with the closest battles we've got is Magical Wax, Robo Sport here fighting for the last few positions here in 13th and 14th place here. So Broccolilli is still ahead of Magical Wax there, so definitely one to forget for Broccolilli, but I can understand his frustrations, DJ.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, we didn't catch what happened through Eau Rouge there, so something may have happened through Eau Rouge there. So we'll have to watch that one back in the post-race investigation. But obviously, we did catch what Bjorn did on stream, and as we know, retaliation isn't what we want in this series. So as much as a driver may push you off or something like that, I bite my tongue here because I may have done it in 1 or 2 races. Don't retaliate. Just put your head down, recompose, and try and finish better than them at the end of the day. So Rugworth one's a little bit wide here, so he's dropped a little bit back from Xylon, so it looks like he may make a mistake. He gets a 1/2 second penalty there as well, so unlucky there for Rugworth. But as far as we go at the front, that gap has dropped down from 2.6 or 2.8 to 2 seconds, so Matt doesn't have much overtake left as what Viper does. So will they save it for the last lap, or will they not?
And he's gone purple on that last lap there, so Viper said he is on the charge with a hell of a lot more overtake compared to Mid-Matt. So this is one to keep an eye on, maybe towards the end of the back end of the race there, but they've definitely pulled away from Duran 50. And Mid-Matt, that undercut, that 1 lap undercut, he did the same. Oh, actually, Viper said did the same thing back to Luca, where Viper did a 1 lap undercut and he got really close to Mid-Matt there. So Mid-Matt just copied what he did from Suzuka to Belgium, and it worked wonders for Mid-Matt there. So we'll have to wait and see how the end of the race goes. Looks like Sir Slayer was getting close to Master, but I think that dirty air between in the Formula cars does hit the drivers. But you see Silent 96 actually close up the gap to Sir Slayer. It was about 6.8, now it's down to 5.5 here. So don't count out Silent 96 to make a charge, maybe within the next lap or 2, but I believe my Amazon tracking predictor, he won't be able to catch him by the end of the race, but never say never.
Yeah, but the formulas are one, if you get the line right, you can make up a lot of speed in 1 lap, but if you do run wide and you start to get understeer, you can kiss that lap goodbye. So if Zolo 96 puts his head down, but I think it may be a little bit too late. So as far as I think, my Amazon prediction says that the top 7 would stay as they are. So, but we may have
but look at this, DJ. We've got Viper Z is now down to 1.3. So, like I said, this is going to be a great battle towards the end of the race. I want to know how much overtake Mid-Matt's got, because I don't think he might have much left. He's only got a little bit of a squirt left. He's probably got about, I would say, at least half a lap of overtake juice there, but Viper Z has got plenty under his belt. So Viper Z, don't count out Viper Z like you said before. So Viper Z and Mid-Matt, these guys are very fierce competitors and they know each other, they know how to race, but I think Viper Z has done enough to get into that slipstream. So come towards the Camel Straight, he's going to get a really nice tow to be right behind Mid-Matt with only 2 laps to go.
Yeah, Mid-Matt kind of squirts his overtake a little bit there. So as you can see, yeah, as I say that, he does use that, and that's all Viper wants.
He's in that slipstream range. So 0.7 is the slipstream, perfect slipstream range, and he's about 0.5. He's about to go 0.4. He doesn't get close enough to him coming to Lake Coupe here, so he's coming towards to the Corners Hill, Malmary, and even down towards Rivage. Can he get closer to Mid-Matt coming towards the corner with no name, turn 11, as he's coming through, exiting these corners. He's getting closer as he's exiting down there, coming towards Puon. So this will be a great chance for Viper just to compose himself and think about if he's going to make a move coming down towards the bus stop. But coming through Puon, he's a lot faster there than Mid-Matt there. So this is definitely going to set up Viper Z, and this is going to set up for a grandstand finish, ladies and gentlemen, here at the TrackStars Formula 2 for round 8 of the Belgian Grand Prix. We have Mid-Matt, BCG Racing versus Viper from Satellite Racing 1 and 2. Could that switch around within the next couple of laps? Time will tell, as we see Viper run a little bit wide there, gets a bit of dirt on his tyres there, and he's got this back end straight, exiting Stavelot, coming towards Blanchemont before the bus stop here. So can Viper think about making a move on Mid-Matt, DJ Jarman?
I think Viper Z's definitely got it here.
Oh, we should see Viper think about making an outside move. Does he outbrake himself? And as he goes side by side through the bus stop, Viper versus Mid-Matt, and Viper takes that lead, and he's got the lead of the Formula 2 TrackStars Racing Series here at Belgian Grand Prix. We see that replay around the outside of the bus stop here. So it can be done if you give each other some room. So great racing between those guys. But looks like Mint-Matt hasn't given that up there. And he's just going side by side with Viper Z coming towards the back end of the circuit. It's the final lap, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Viper Z, Mint-Matt, positions 1 and 2. Place your bets, place your monopoly money, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a grandstand finish between Viper Z and Mint-Matt. They go side by side again. Mint-Matt's going to take the lead here, and Viper Z's going to stick right behind it. So Mint-Matt's using the most of his overtake that he can, but it's still Mint-Matt leading the way ahead of Viper Z here. So, ladies and gentlemen, place your bets. Who's going to win this race?
Well, this one's going to be impossible to decide, but I think I'm going to have to go the teammate. Put my pick on at this stage. Hopefully you can hold off for this final lap.
So we've got Mint-Matt, who will be partnering with It's Racing Jarvin in the Endurance TrackStars Touring Car Endurance Series. We've got Viper Z, who will be partnering up with DJSX Pointed in the Pit Lane Esports Endurance touring car. So we've got two great drivers, both got competitive drivers in the touring cars, but this is Formula 2 racing. We've got Mint-Matt. We're coming up towards the turn 15 here, coming towards Stavelot in turn 16. Can Viper Z get closer? It looks like he has done it. He's got plenty of overtake here, so this is all crucial for Viper Z and Mint-Matt to hold each other up. Mint-Matt's going to have to really hold up Viper Z because Mint-Matt's going to run out of overtake coming towards the end of the back end straight as he's coming through Blanchimont. Can Viper Z do the same thing, go around the outside? He's making that outside move. As we see Mint-Matt and Viper Z, who's going to outbreak himself? It looks like it's going to get really close. Can Viper Z make the move? He has done. As we see, it's side by side overtake. It's a run to the finish line, ladies and gentlemen. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be
Oh, he's cut out. What's going on?
He has cut out. He's on the turret side of the water. Finish from Viper Z and Mint-Matt.
Oh, what a finish. That was fantastic. As we come down, we see Viper Z taking that win over Mint-Matt in second place, Duran 50 in third, SDRT Mads they're in fourth, Sir Slayer in fifth, Zyla 96 holding out sixth place, Rugworth in seventh, Nightwalker in eighth, Bjorn Borg's Undies in ninth, Cyric in 10th, Broccolili with a fair charge back through the field there considering the circumstances as we see this battle go on between him and Robbo Sport. What's going on here? Oh, can Robbo do this? Oh, Broccolili versus Robbo. Oh, Robbo gets him on the line! Oh no, that was Mickey's! Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I seen Robbo in 13th. Oh, my apologies there, but unfortunately there, Mickey's gets Broccolili on the line there, so we can see how much difference that little tiny squirt of overtake there can get at the exit of a turn there. That's just what that can happen there, but congratulations to this man in the numbers 56. The Satellite Racing from Viper Z taking out the first place, followed by Mint-Matt in that close finish there. You can see the gap there.
0.068 there. So Mint-Matt again losing out to a win there ahead of Viper Z there. So advantage Viper Z over Mint-Matt there. So congratulations to those two for an excellent finish towards the end of the Grand Prix. Hopefully something to see come towards the main series, who knows. But we've got Duran 50 rounding up the podium position at 11 seconds behind. So still some pace to find for Duran 50 in his Super Formula Honda engine there. We got Madstar in 4th place, Sir Slayer in 5th, Zyla 96, a great charge for him in 6th place, Rugworth, a great performance by him in 7th place, Nightwalker in 8th, Bjorn Borg's Undies with the penalty and a penalty over his head in 9th place. So that'll be a provisional 9th place, we'll say, for Bjorn Borgs, but the stewards will have to have a look otherwise. But as we see Cyric round up the top 10 with Minkaz getting Broccolili over the line, as you just called there, with Broccolili in 12th, yet he's going to be making his main series debut in 12th place. Robbo Sport in 13th with Magical Wax rounding up the top 14 here at TrackStars Formula 2.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal finish there.
Yeah, exactly right. So congratulations to Viper Z and Mint-Matt for putting on that exceptional last 2 laps there. So I didn't think that Viper Z was going to close in on Mint-Matt there, but it looks like he did really well to save his overtake juice and get him towards the end of the race. My apologies. So that was really good to see. It's side by side and such respect between those drivers. It is amazing. that we can see Mint Matt and Viper Z in a class act in the Formula 2 field.
Yeah, exactly. But we see a little bit of beef going on here, so I'll just say here, leave it to the stewards. Oh, can't spell. Bit of it's been one of those days. So yeah, no, that was a very exciting race there, and unfortunately there for Mid-Mat, he did get pinned on the line. So that was a very outstanding finish between him and Viper Z. So that was definitely race of the season there, as Viper Z's calling, because I did message him pretty much straight after that race was done. So he did say race of the season. Holy
Exactly right.
beep, beep. So that's the words of Mr. Viper Z there. So as we know, Driver Roof, his caliber, was very pleased with himself there. So
yeah, and to take pole position, fastest lap, and what we saw in the title graphic, a clean race bonus, 3 out of 3. He's got the clean sweep, so definitely driver of the day goes to Viper Z after that exceptional performance there.
yeah, exactly. But until then, that was an exceptional Grand Prix here around the beautiful Cirque du Spa Francorchamps, as we like to say. And from myself, disappointed, Ryan Palmer, and Spud P666, and Jarman Dullets It's Racing. Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you in